Welcome to the show. My name is Charlton with Big C. This is Charlton and Big C Sports coming to you worldwide on the Big C Sports Network, the number one network in the United States of America. And Big C Sports has been voted the number one sports show in the universe, according to Big C and them good old boys from down south. I want to say bienvenidos to all of our listeners across the pond in London, England, as well as France. And also you good old boys from Canada. You know we love you in Canada. I still want to give a big shout out to the Big C Tribe over in Africa. Thank you, Big C Tribe, for following Big C Sports. Big C, you know there's no one we love more than you good old boys down south in the land of the free, in the home of the brave. Today is a beautiful October 25th, 2017. Big C, how's it going for all you good old boys down south?
Charlton, unfortunately, it's a sad day for everybody down here in the South, Charlton, with the loss of Fats Domino today at the age of 89.
Oh, yeah.
An iconic African-American artist, Charlton, from New Orleans, who was feared lost in Katrina over a decade ago.
Yeah.
But he survived along with he and his wife. And, you know, he's known for such great hits as Walking Through New Orleans. You know, Fats Domino is an iconic Grammy Award winner.
Yeah.
On Blueberry Hill was one of his more famous hits, Charlton.
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
Iconic praise of other entertainers of his time, such as a Chuck Berry and
Yeah.
Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
But, you know, Paul McCartney paid him the greatest tribute, saying that the song that he learned the blues from was on Blueberry Hill. That's how he learned to sing, and that's what drove him. Paul McCartney, the former Beatle lead singer.
Yeah.
But Fats Domino will greatly be missed in the entertainment world, Charlton.
Yeah.
And the South has a shadow cast over tonight.
Well, that's a very big loss, Big C. A lot of people love the influence that he had over the world of music and entertainment, and obviously you mentioned some of his great songs. I found my thrill on Blueberry Hill, and just a lot of great things that Fats Domino will be remembered for. Life is about how you live it. 89 is a good life, but I know that he's sorely missed. We do want to offer all of our thoughts and condolences out to his family and for all the people in the world of music. I do want to say that today's segment will be sponsored by your Northern California Cadillac dealers, home of the all-new Cadillac Escalade, the standard of the world. And when you go by and test drive yours, tell them Charlton and Big C sent you. And also, Big C, you know, in the world of baseball, and we have basketball and football, is really the great time of year for sports, and none other than Chavez Ravine. When you look at what happened with the Dodgers, and I'm telling you, Turner, the third baseman for the Dodgers, bats .371 on the season, and in the playoffs, he's just hitting the ball all over the ballpark, it seems. Just give me your thoughts tonight. The heat is not as bad as it was last night, but your thoughts on Verlander having a chance against this very powerful Dodger lineup. Big C, your thoughts? Yeah.
He gave up a middle inning home run, but other than that, he was basically unhittable.
Oh, yeah.
For the Astros last night, Charlton. He threw so much junk last night. I mean, he had everybody on the verge of trying to figure out what was coming next.
Yeah.
Even the announcers, they couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
But just a great game by the Dodgers for the first time in 29 years, hosting a World Series game at Chavez Ravine.
Yep.
And the crowd was not disappointed at all tonight.
No.
Last night, Charlton. But tonight is a different story.
Yeah.
When you're looking at Verlander on the mound, Verlander, since coming over to the Astros in his 9 starts, has been outscoring opponents 48-12.
Wow.
1.53 ERA.
Yeah, that's a lot.
They faced the Dodgers back in August.
Yeah.
So this lineup is not new to them. And
Yeah.
he beat the Dodgers at that point, Charlton, 8-1. He gave up a home run in that game. But Verlander is used to this Dodger lineup, and
Yeah.
they're somewhat used to him. So it's not new medicine for both sides. But this is a critical game in the hunt for the World Series, Charlton.
Yeah.
Because history says if you go down 0-2 in the World Series,
Yeah.
your chances of winning are about 10-12%. And so this is something that the Astros don't want to face. They want to go back to Houston with at least one victory out of this series in Los Angeles, Charlton.
And that's a very good point. You also look at the Dodgers, you contrast what they've done with their closers, especially Jensen. When they've had a lead into the seventh inning stretch, they have not even given up a run. So that's a great game on the line tonight. I'm sure Las Vegas will have a lot of good old boys sipping some moonshine and whatever else they put in their stomach to keep them from. Cristal. What's Cristal, Big C? Is that an actor that plays in Hollywood, or is that something else?
Well, you know, it's a clear champagne.
Oh, okay.
It has a high-end taste to it.
Oh, okay. That got to be a certain pay grade to understand the word crystal, Big C. From back in the day, I understand. So tonight, obviously, you look at what's happening with the Dodgers and Yasiel Puig batting 375 in the postseason. I look at Turner batting 371. And that good old boy Altuve, he's a good hitter, but he hasn't really had the pitches to hit, at least in game one. We'll see how he can turn it around tonight. In outfield, you also have Granderson. I like what's going on. Bellinger, first baseman for the Dodgers, batting 267. And then Taylor in center field batting 286. Sager at shortstop batting 357. They have the bats. And if Verlander can throw in the heat the way he has been doing all season, should be a very interesting matchup to see who has the edge. So, Big C, we talk about NFL football. Defense wins championships. Now, you know baseball. You studied it a long time. Would you rather go in with a hot bat, which the Dodgers definitely have that, or would you rather go in with a guy that's very hard to hit, Big C, even though it's going to be throwing in a lot of heat out here on the West Coast tonight? Big C, your thoughts?
Well, Charlton, the batting is always critical. I mean, when you think about pitching comes down to the umpires when you're looking at a strike zone.
Yep.
You know, we've had so much displeasure. I mean, Altuve last night almost went apoplectic on one strike. They looked a little bit out of the zone, Charlton, and he's a diminutive batter.
Yeah.
He's standing about 5'6".
Yeah.
And you call a strike on him, you call it a really low strike zone.
Yeah.
You know, he said, hey, I'm just like everybody else up here at the plate. And
Yeah.
when you looked at it in that electronic box, Charlton, it did look a bit low.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you're not putting the bat on the ball, Charlton, it's regardless of who's pitching. You can have a middle-of-the-road pitcher out there. If he's throwing junk that nobody can hit, Charlton,
Yeah.
he's a great hitter.
Yeah.
So it's all about that eye-hand coordination. You know, people used to, get on Barry Bonds for years saying that he was using something.
Yeah.
But he can put the bat on the ball, Charlton.
Yeah.
That's eye-hand coordination. That's nothing about any additives. And I've seen many players throughout the playoffs with this swollen jaw syndrome. Imminent of steroids.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
It's not about chewing bubble gum.
Yeah.
It's imminent of steroids.
Well,
And so the talk is quiet now because you don't see many African Americans play in the playoffs. And those are the ones who don't have the swollen jaws. But the other players who have the swollen jaws, we hear nothing from the announcers about it.
well, obviously, when you think about all the home runs that were being hit by Canseco and McGuire and Bonds and Socha, and just over the years, we've had so much dominance in the world of baseball. And people love the long ball. They love the fact that stadiums have gotten a little bit smaller as far as hitting a home run, where instead of hitting the ball over right field, where it's 330 feet, sometimes it's 305 feet, Big C. That little bit makes a big difference. And in Chavez Ravine, the air will be thin tonight, so the ball could carry if you can get your bats going. That's why it's important for the Dodgers to get up, at least get the lead before the seventh inning. Verlander, you think about how much money this guy makes. $28 million is what they're throwing at the Dodgers tonight. For $28 million, this can justify or not justify his contract because, let's be honest, you're paid to win. And who's that good old boy coach that said, we play to win the game? We play, I think it was Herman. Yeah, when he was coaching. So $28 million, and we talk about how much money football players make. $28 million tonight, Big C. If they hit Verlander and they get at least 3 runs, that should be enough for the Dodgers to win it. Do you think that would it cause some issues with justifying he's making $28 million and they can't get out of the second game with a win with him, Big C? Your thoughts?
Charlton, that's not unheard of for huge starters in the National League. I mean, when you think about what Kershaw, he's the highest paid pitcher in baseball.
Yeah.
And yet he delivered last night.
Yeah.
And you think about what Verlander, he was one of the highest paid pitchers in the American League when he was with the Detroit Tigers coming over.
Yeah.
The Dodgers also have a pitcher who's going into Game 3, Hugh Darvish, who is going to be a free agent after this year.
Yep.
And based on his performance in the World Series, that will determine how many more millions of dollars he will get in free agency.
Yeah.
So, but this is what we've gone to see in baseball. They were talking about paying Bryce Harper $400 million.
For what?
They get rid of Dusty Baker.
For what?
Okay. And Bryce Harper missed 42 games on the injured list.
Yeah.
So are you paying a guy on productivity or potential? That's what you're looking at. But, in Verlander's case, Charlton, since coming over to the Astros, he's earned that money.
Yeah.
You think about it, a 1.53 ERA.
Yep.
And then in the 9 games that he's pitched,
Yeah.
they've outscored opponents 42 to 12.
Yeah.
Now, that's worth the money.
Yeah.
And so if you put those numbers based on a season, he might be a little underpaid, Charlton.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of money, but you'll see it's all relative. It's like a Picasso painting. If you win, then it's all justified. If you lose, then a lot of people are going to say, "Why give them that much money?" So whoever wins tonight should be a great.
Are you talking like Kershaw's high school teammate?
Yeah, back in the Motor City. Hey, they got lead water back in Detroit, so you can understand that signing that contract, they may not have had all their faculties, Big C. Got to get rid of that water issue back in Detroit. But, if you can get the money, because if you get the money, Big C, take the money. Life's about getting what you can. But I would love to see some of these good old boys pay homage to Curt Flood, especially when they're talking about making $28 million in one season. Is because of Flood, who challenged and sued Major League Baseball to have the chance to go out and get free agency. Big C, also in the world of sports tonight, I just want to touch on real quickly how the NBA is a great game. And LeBron James did what Magic Johnson did back in the day. He played every position. Now, he came under a lot of flack by saying that he studies the game so well that he knows what everyone is supposed to be doing no matter what part of the floor he is on. And he came under a lot of flack for saying that he is cerebral enough to know what every player on his team should be doing. Big C, I don't think that's bragging. I think that's called being prepared. Isn't that what a coach is supposed to be, Big C? Your thoughts? Yeah.
And they feel that an athlete should not have the cerebral,
like you shouldn't know. Yeah.
Anomaly question
yeah.
or answer period going along with them.
Yeah.
Is that whatever they say, it should be a 1 or 2 word answer.
Yep.
And so the media is a little awestruck now by these athletes and the intelligence that they possess.
Yeah.
Is because they take the time, Charlton, to learn how to deal with the media. The media is all tabloidism.
Yeah.
I heard a reporter today talking about Colin Kaepernick, because tell me what athlete who's ever written a book hasn't used a ghostwriter.
Yeah.
We're talking about Joe DiMaggio, okay?
Yeah.
Bill Russell.
Yep.
Anybody, Charlton, in the world of sports.
Yeah.
Fran Tarkenton, Terry Bradshaw.
Mike Ditka, of all people. Mike Ditka. Yeah.
Mike Ditka.
Yeah.
All of these guys have used ghostwriters to write their books.
Yeah.
But I heard a guy on ESPN today on First Take saying that he would rather hear Colin Kaepernick talk than use a ghostwriter.
That guy's a knucklehead.
Words in the proper context.
Yeah, he's a knucklehead.
Okay?
Yeah.
This is the stupidity that the broadcast media has gotten to these days.
Yeah.
To say that they're more, they sound like Trump. I'm a very smart person.
Yeah.
So if you're a very smart person, then read.
Yeah.
Read the damn book, okay?
Yeah.
If you're a very smart person.
Yeah.
But you're going to come out and belittle a man.
Yeah.
And you're no more intelligent than him. Matter of fact, he's intelligent enough to be able to write a book.
Yeah.
No one would read your book, but people will read it.
Hey, here's a.
The athletes are the one who keeps us in the media employed, Charles.
Yeah, here's a.
They are a lifeline. So to sit there and say that the guy who is feeding you is stupid,
Yeah.
that lets you know how stupid you are.
I agree. He must think that every college professor writes the books that they teach out of. I think he's just trying to grandstand. Hey, notice me, I have a law degree. If he's so successful, why is he on television? He should be adjudicating the law. Big C, I do want to get on the thing that what LeBron James did prove is that you can be like Magic Johnson. The difference between now and Magic, when Magic played every position, he was not criticized. He was actually applauded for being, cerebral enough to know what your teammates are supposed to be doing. And when a quarterback for the NFL says, I know where every player is supposed to be, every block, every lineman, every receiver, every running back, and they're saying, hey, this guy's on top of the game. He's smart, he's intelligent, he's cerebral. But I don't know if he was in that conversation or not, Big C. We don't even know if he understands what we just said, Big C, because he's probably taking a nap right now. But again, congratulations to LeBron James. To know that that you're capable of running your team from the floor, I think everybody appreciates that, Big C. Also, on the West Coast, Boogie Cousins dropped 39 points last night, 13 rebounds, and a loss to Portland. Reminds me a lot when he played for the Kings. He could put up a lot of points, but it didn't necessarily lead to a win. Anthony Davis, his knee's injured. Do we know if he's out for several weeks, Big C, or is it just going to be about a week or two for Anthony Davis and the injury that he had at Portland last night, Big C?
Probably just a week or two, Charlton, but it's an injury to the same knee that he's had before.
Yeah.
Also, always known that he has the offensive ability to put up points and get rebounds.
Yeah.
But his defense is what's lacking. A lot of those rebounds are long rebounds that he gets because we know he shies away from being in the paint.
Yeah.
But with 39 points and you're not helping your team win, you look at his versus LeBron.
Yeah.
LeBron had, 32 points last night, but his team won.
Yeah.
And 13 assists.
Yeah.
Boogie Cousins has 39 points and 13 rebounds, but it doesn't facilitate a win for his team.
Yep.
So the ability of one player to make his teammates better versus one player making himself better is the biggest difference between winning and losing, Charles.
That's a very good point, Big C. So hopefully he'll have a great showing tomorrow night in Sacramento. Should be another sold-out crowd at the Golden West Center in Northern California when players come back home. And I think, ironically, Chris Webber may be doing the play-by-play, who at one time was with Golden State and didn't want to be with Golden State because he didn't like water. I mean, how could a guy from Michigan not like the water, Big C, if you're from Michigan and end up going to Sacramento? Yeah. Yeah, there's a difference. I understand. There's a huge difference. But you have so much money, you're always flying over them anyway. So it should be great games around the NBA. One more story I want to bring up about the NBA. I just want to get your thoughts real quick on the experiment with Russell Westbrook, OKC, and now he has to put up with Carmelo Anthony and he has George. Is that jiving yet, or do we have to wait about a month to see if that experiment is actually going to work out in the favor of the OKC Thunder? Big C, your thoughts?
Well, Charles, we're only 34 games into the NBA season.
Yeah.
We're talking about 82 games is a long stretch.
Yeah.
And teams have to get the feel for each other. You got to find out who's going to be having the ball in which situation, Charles.
Yep.
Throughout a contest. I mean, it's just like looking at the Cousins situation, in New Orleans last night, and he gets to 39. It's like looking at the Cavs.
Yeah.
The Cavs have already made roster moves.
Yeah.
Already. Dwayne Wade has gone to the bench.
Yep.
In lieu of, J.R. Smith coming back into the starting lineup.
Yeah.
Rose is hurt. Isaiah Thomas is hurt. Kevin Love had to go to center.
Yep.
So there's adjustments that have to be made all year long, Charlton, throughout the NBA season because it's wear and tear, and players have to be willing to play other positions to find their fit.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Big C. I do want to say that sports is a billion-dollar industry, and boys and girls sports is the foundation to this billion-dollar industry. And for every sporting event, you need athletic and event insurance. We work with Ben and Mark. They've been around half a century. They work with Big C Sports, whether you're a pro team, a collegiate team, or your high school teams, even your mom and pop soccer leagues. When you reach out to them, let them know that Big C sent you. Big C, I want to touch on another thing, too, that came up, and I just want to get your thoughts. Because we talk about the money that Verlander is making, $28 million. And you talked about, Stafford playing for Detroit, making a lot of money. I think he's $25 million or somewhere up in there. And then you have Joe Flacco, who has one of the lowest QBRs of starting quarterbacks and doesn't seem to show a lot of interest. I thought maybe because he was injured earlier in the season, they talked about bringing in another quarterback. Do you think that Flacco, I'm not being flippant about this, we hear about a CTE after a player has passed on, but there's times when you get a player who gets his bell rung, and he just seems a little bit loopy. Do you think that could be an issue with Flacco, but they don't want to talk about it a lot like Brady because they want to protect that marquee position? Big C, your thoughts?
Well, Flacco really seems to not care, Charlton. Only Deshaun Kaiser of the Cleveland Browns has a lower QBR rating than Joe Flacco.
And he's a rookie.
And this is a guy who, the $126 million contract at quarterback.
Yeah.
Last week he completed a abysmal 10 passes, Charlton, and the Ravens lost.
Yeah.
And since he's been to the Super Bowl, you have to ask yourself, what has Joe Flacco done?
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
He's done nothing since the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So, as far as warning that money in the NFL,
yep,
it's amazing that a white quarterback who has dismal numbers doesn't get the flack of a black quarterback who's at least 500.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't get the medium that Cam Newton does or the tirade of a Tyrod Taylor in Buffalo. He's not hounded by the media.
Yeah.
He said the team is struggling.
Yeah.
It's almost like Eli Manning. You look at Eli Manning and you look at Joe Flacco's numbers.
Yeah.
If they were black, Sultan, they would not be starters in the NFL.
Well, that's something else because whenever I look at what's going on with the situation with Cam Newton, there's always an issue to say, well, he didn't take an interview or he didn't answer enough questions. And I think you have about 9 minutes or so to give your questions and answers. So obviously he could work on that. But I think there's so much made about what, he sneezed during the press conference. Oh, my God, he sneezed. Is he okay to play? Hey, he breathed a little bit deeper than he normally does. Was he too tired? Is he not in shape? Well, LeBron James said that he wasn't in shape for his first game because, he had some injuries in the preseason. I think a lot of times athletes are always asked the same question ad nauseum, and it may weigh on them a little bit. Could you have better composure at the podium? Of course. But whether you do or don't, if they're always out to get you, they're going to try to find the way to say that you did something wrong. Yeah. Yeah.
What was the negative question that was asked of Eli Manning in the past 3 weeks?
That's a good question.
What was the negative question that was asked of Joe Flacco in the
Yeah.
last 3 weeks? None. What was the negative question asked of Jay Cutler in the last 3 weeks? None.
Yeah.
Okay, look up and down the ledger at certain quarterbacks, Charlton.
Yeah.
And these quarterbacks are losing, but they're white. There's no negativity asked of them. Look at Trevor Siemian in Denver,
Yeah.
who's been berated the last 3 games on the field. They've been beat down.
Yeah.
But, you don't get these negative questions unless you're a black quarterback. I mean, you think about how the media hounds Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Every day on SportsCenter, on Fox Sports, you see Cam Newton. Why? You're going to tell me it's only one quarterback in the NFL?
Wow.
There's press conferences on 32 NFL teams.
Yeah.
But I see Cam Newton more than I've seen all the rest of quarterbacks combined 7 games into the season, Charlton.
That's a very good point, Big C.
Is this a Cam Newton hunt? Because ever since the Super Bowl, the media has beat Cam Newton down.
Yeah. Yep.
Joe Flacco in Baltimore, if you want to ride a quarterback about
Yeah.
lack of productivity,
Yeah.
you need to be in the Baltimore locker room every day. That's what we need to see on SportsCenter every day. With the 31st ranked QBR rating in the NFL,
Yeah.
they're giving him a pass.
Yeah.
You tell me what's the difference between he and Joe Flacco? Cam Newton, between Joe Flacco and Cam Newton.
Yeah, that's even a story about as we get ready to close out for the for the show. The Dodgers and the Astros are playing, but Kaepernick has a story that maybe a book's coming out. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But so many people are interested in the book. And you mentioned that guy that was on one of the sports channels earlier, I guess in the day, and he was saying he doesn't come on and speak for himself. He doesn't have to do anything. I think you guys talk about Kaepernick more than he talks about you, whether he writes a book or not. I think he's so validated and vindicated in his stance for social justice. I just want you to think about that. And anyone can Google this, especially people who don't believe it. The stop and frisk that Jeff Sessions and Donald Trump want to implement, they already had it done in New York City. And 80 to 90% of the people pulled over and stop and frisk are African American or Latino, 80 to 90%. And for you good old boys, that means only 1 out of 10 white Americans, but 9 out of 10 black Americans. And that's what he's taking a knee for. It had nothing to do with the flag, but you can Google that. The stop and frisk mentality is to incarcerate black Americans. And now here's another man saying, hey, now I'm thinking about writing a book, and people want to criticize him for that. Just give me your thoughts in about a minute for that, Big C, and then I'll get your thoughts on the game tonight. Your thoughts.
When we think about the stop and frisk, that's a racial divide in America.
Yeah.
Is that you're singling out one culture.
Yep.
You're singling out an ethnicity of people.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing. And you're saying that these people are bad. Charlton, it's like the opiate epidemic in America right now.
Yeah.
It's a white epidemic for the most part.
The NFL's making commercials on it. Did you see that? They're making commercials about get out of check your medicine cabinet and all that jazz. But the Black Lives Matter movement, they're like, hey, we don't need to see that garbage. Just give me the difference on that in about a minute, Big C.
90% of the opiate use in America, Charlton, is white America. Okay?
Yeah.
90% of it because it's prescription drugs.
Yeah.
And because it's prescription drugs and they obtained it illegally, and Robert Ursay and your fat boy...
Rush Limbaugh, yeah, that's your friend. Yeah.
They've both been caught with all these opiates.
Yeah.
And arrested for it.
Yeah.
But they're saying that it's an illness, okay?
Yeah.
It's an illness. Think about it. When white people have something, it's an illness.
Yeah.
When it's black people, it's an addiction.
Yeah, I noticed that.
There's 6,000 Americans dying a day, Charlton, from
Yeah.
this opiate. Okay?
Yeah.
And this is from the pharmaceutical companies. Is anybody holding the pharmaceuticals that are backing Donald Trump?
Nope.
Responsible for this, who donated to his campaign with a lot of money? Of the Republican senators who pushed this through Congress and the Senate as a bill in 2016 so that the DEA could not stop the shipment of drugs or slow them down in America? Is anyone talking about that? This is a Republican problem in America, Charlton.
Yep.
The Republicans push this on American society. And the president, since he wants to overturn everything Obama did,
Yeah.
he can easily make it a paper that he signs, okay?
Yeah, he could easily do that.
Executive act, just like he's done with all this other stuff that he's turned over.
Yeah.
And it's hurting the economy and the EPA and everything else that Obama put in place.
Yeah.
He can turn over this drug act, Charlton, but he will not. Because the pharmaceutical companies pay him and his Republican constituents a lot of money.
Yeah.
So he's not going to overturn this. He would rather see people die than to overturn this bill that got passed by Congress and the Senate.
And all it would take is a stroke of a pen. Also, before we get your final thoughts on today's program, Bob Coker, Republican in Tennessee, Jeff Flake, Republican in Arizona, they're really disappointed in Trump and said they would not vote for him again because of his behavior in the White House, and they think he's tarnished the White House. Big C, back in the day, there was a man by the name of Drew Bondini Brown. He was Muhammad Ali's right-hand man. He would always tell Ali, with all you got to use, how can you lose? Rumble, young man, rumble. Big C, what are you looking forward to in the sports universe?
What I'm looking forward to, Charlton, is twofold. The Arizona Cardinals lost Carson Palmer last week with a broken arm. There's a quarterback that's sitting out there that's better than half the starting quarterbacks in the NFL, Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
He would be a perfect fit for that offense with Adrian Peterson, Larry Fitzgerald, and Brown, the other receivers that they have.
Yeah.
Also, the Players Association is going to meet with owners and the league on the 31st of October. They're extending an invitation to Colin Kaepernick to join. Would that not be a perfect scenario? Arizona Cardinals signed Colin Kaepernick. He also attended this meeting with the league owners and the commissioner on the 31st of October.
Big C, that's a very good point. Happy Halloween. It will be in the world of sports. I do want to say every Monday through Friday at 5 and 6 p.m. worldwide, follow Big C Sports on the Big C Sports Network, the #1 network in the United States of America. And Big C Sports has been voted the #1 sports show in the universe, according to Big C and them good old boys down south. We always want to tell you, that's never, ever an excuse for domestic violence. If you know any woman going through that garbage, please call 911, because no woman should ever have to deal with that garbage all on her own. And as we always tell you on every Big C Sports show, we thank you, we appreciate you, and we hope that you have a super fantastic day.